Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
What's up, LumioseStation, and welcome back to another episode of the Pokémon DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. In last week's episode, we covered the grass poison type Pokémon Victreebel from the Kanto region, and I asked you guys to vote between two more Pokémon from the Kanto region, Ninetales and Rapidash, and whichever one got the most votes, we're going to cover this week. And as you can tell by the whole video, we are covering Ninetales. It actually completely destroyed Rapidash. We've had some few close votes, but Ninetales completely destroyed it. So that's who we're covering this week. And remember, guys, it's Ninetales with T-A-L-E-S, not Ninetales. It does have Ninetales, but it's not called Ninetales. Anyway, I think before we get on to today's video, though, you guys need to vote for next week's episode. And for episode number 49 of the Pokemon DataDex, we are going to have a vote between Electivire and Magmortar. Electivire being one of my favourite Pokemon, as well as one of Jay, also, another conductor on Lumiose's favourite Pokemon, and Magmortar being a Pokemon that no one really has as a mascot, or, I don't know. So, make your pick, guys. Make your pick which one do you want me to cover next week. But for now, we're going to be covering Ninetales, so comment down below quickly, and we'll get on with today's episode. So, Ninetales is the Fox Pokemon, as you might have been able to tell, and is a pure Fire type, being number 38 in the National Pokedex. Doesn't appear in the Kalos Pokedex, it's funny enough, so make of that what you will. Dimension wise, it stands at 1.1 meters or 3 foot 7 inches tall, so it's not a very huge Pokemon, probably about the same size as a normal Fox, maybe just a bit bigger, if you guys get what I'm going out there, and weighs 43.9 pounds or 19.9 kilograms. Egg group wise, it's in the field group for breeding, so it can breed with most normal type Pokemon, stuff like that. And the male-female split, it's primarily female actually. It's one of the only Pokemon I've covered on DataDex that is more likely to be a female than a male. 75% female, 25% male, so you're more likely to get a female one. Evolution chain wise, Ninetales will evolve from Vulpix when it's with Firestone, so that's one of the Firestone evolutions, similar to Growlithe to Arcanine, which I've covered before on DataDex. And obviously, Ninetales doesn't learn any moves after you evolve it, so you have to be very careful when you're going to evolve your Vulpix. Base stat wise for Ninetales, we can see here its highest stats are Special Defense and Speed at 100, then it goes down to Special Attack at 80, and then we're down to Health Points, Attack and Defense at 73, 76 and 75 respectively. So it's got reasonably decent Special Defense and Speed stats, and a half decent Special Attack stat, but then its Health Points, Defense and Attack are lacking. As you might be able to tell, we're going to be mainly using Special Attack for Ninetales because obviously that's its highest stat there, plus it has a better Special Attacking move pool than Physical. I don't even know how many Physical moves it gets, but you get the point. Mainly a Special Attacker, so that's what I'm going to be covering in this video. So if we first look at the typing for Ninetales, which actually is a pure Fire type, which isn't too complicated to go over. It resists 6 types, which is Grass, Fire, Bug, Ice, Steel and Fairy type moves, and it's weak to 3 types, which are Water and Ground, and Rock, so generally it's a good type. It's got more resistances and weaknesses, and it's got a decent amount overall. Neutral, obviously a normal, Fighting, Flying, Poison, Ghost, Electric, Psychic, Dragon and Dark, so generally the most common types are mainly in the resistances and also some of the weaknesses too, but I would say a pure Fire type is, obviously it's a basic typing, it's not too special, but it's a half decent typing. I'm not going to complain about having a pure Fire type. It's not like it's Fire Ground and it's really going to lack there. It's pretty decent. So, ability-wise for Ninetales, there are 2 abilities available for it, one basic and a hidden ability. The basic ability is Flash Fire, which means it powers up the Pokemon's Fire type moves if it's hit by one, which generally is not a good move at all, or not a good ability rather, because no one uses Fire type moves against Fire type Pokemon, aka Ninetales. So generally, you don't want to run Flash Fire at all. The hidden ability is much better, which is Drought, which means it turns Sunlight harsh when the Pokemon enters the battle, which is brilliant for Ninetales because first off, powers up Fire type moves, second off, weakens Water type moves, so you can take the water weakness off pretty much because it does neutral, and then it also has an effect in that Solar Beam is only taking 1 turn then to charge up, and Solar Beam is a very viable move for Ninetales, as we'll look at in just a second. So always run Drought over Flash Fire. I would never run Flash Fire, there's no point at all. So highlighted moves for Ninetales, got 10 here, some level up, some TM, and then the Heart Scale move. As you can notice, no egg moves because, as we saw earlier, It's in the field group for breeding, which is not a brilliant group. It's not like Dragon where you can get some cool moves there or anything like that. It's just in the field group, which is a bit of a boring group to be in, so that's why it doesn't have any amazing egg moves. But obviously also remember the level up moves, which we'll look at first, have to be as a Vulpix rather than a Ninetales, so if you want to get these via level up, you have to actually level up your Vulpix first off. First move we have here is level 26 is Will-O-Wisp, which burns the opponent. It's a fairly good, fairly easy basic move. Not much else to say about that, and that it can cripple some physical attackers and obviously get some residual damage off on them too. Then we have Flamethrower at level 34. This can also be taught by a TM, so I really wouldn't worry about leveling your Vulpix up to this level, but you can if you want to. Flamethrower is a very good fire type move. It's general basic fire type move. I would recommend it. Obviously you can have a look at another fire type move later on, which has lower accuracy but higher power, but I generally go for Flamethrower, to be honest. I like the more reliableness, the higher reliability, and the fact it's got like 95 power I think anyway, so it's got a pretty high power. Then if we start looking at the TMs, the first TM we have here is TM05 Roar, which is actually pretty good, especially for running a defensive Ninetales, because you can roar your opponent out of battle, especially if they're trying to set up on you, or if it's just a Pokemon you don't like, or anything like that. You can just roar and get them the hell out of there. Then TM10 we have Hidden Power, special move. Obviously the Hidden Power actually depends on what your IVs are, so you can't really decide. Obviously you don't want to fire Hidden Power because you've got fire type moves. You don't really want a Grass one because you've got Solar Beam in a minute. So really it's just whatever. You can get an Ice one, you can get Dark one, whatever you manage to get, it's going to be good because it just gives you some more coverage. Then TM11 Sunny Day. As I did mention, we're going to be running Drought on all the sets. You don't want to run Flash Fire, but you can run Sunny Day if you want, because obviously when you send a Pokemon Drought out, the sun only lasts for a limited amount of turns. So especially if you're running a defensive Ninetales, you might want to think about running Sunny Day just so you can put the sun back up again and keep getting the extra power, keep fighting like that, if you guys understand me there. I wouldn't recommend it, but because generally how I run my Ninetales is sort of go in, you've got 5 turns, do what you want, and that's it. But you could run Sunny Day if you wanted to. Then we have TM22 Solar Beam. Obviously with Drought or Sunny Day up, Solar Beam is only going to take 1 turn to actually use, so it's very, very powerful. I think it's 120 base power if I off the top of my head, and I can't quite remember, but something like that. And obviously special as well, so as I said earlier, basic special attacker. Then TM38 Fire Blast, alternative to Flamethrower, higher power, lower accuracy. I would generally recommend Flamethrower for the higher PP as well, because Fire Blast only has 5 PP. So really, Flamethrower is my favourite, my preferred choice. But Fire Blast is more powerful, so go for that if you wish. Then we have TM44 Rest. This is for a Rest Talk set, or Rest Talk is the name for it. Rest Talk set we'll look at first up. And also it's really your only way of health regeneration apart from leftovers, unfortunately, because you don't have access to anything else. There's no recover, there's no roost, nothing like that. So unfortunately you're left with rest as the only way to recover health points. So if you want to run a defensive set and stay in there for a long time, really you have to run Rest Talk. Then we have to go with that TM88 Sleep Talk, because you have to use them in tandem. Sleep Talk, if you're unaware, uses one of your randomly uses one of your moves while you're asleep. So it could either, if you're running Rest, Sleep Talk, Fire Blast, Solar Beam, it could either run. I could either use Solar Beam, Fire Blast, or Rest, one of those 3. Obviously if it uses Rest it's going to fail because it's already asleep, but if it uses one of the other 2, so you've got 2 out of 3 chance to actually use a move, so Sleep Talk is a reasonably good move to have. Then the last move, which is a heart scale move, or a move learned like level 0 when it's a Ninetales, is Nasty Plot, which is going to sharply raise your special attack and make you a very powerful attacker, especially with that sun up and anything else you might have on you. So that's really the highlighted moves there. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 attacking moves, and then the rest are status, because generally Ninetales is a status user, or at least uses status to their advantage. They're not an all-out attacker. They sort of have to use status with a combination of offensive moves to do the best. So, as I mentioned, the first Wi-Fi setup we're going to be looking at is a Rest Talk set, so let's just get straight into it. Moveset, as you might have guessed, is Rest, Sleep Talk, Flamethrower, and then finally Roar, Will-O-Wisp, or Solar Beam. Ability here is Drought, as I mentioned. Nature is Calm, which is going to boost your special defense and lower your physical attack. Held item here is a Heat Rock, which is going to extend the amount of turns that the sun will go up for when obviously Drought activates. And the EVs are having 248 in health points, so not quite maximum, 238 in special defense, and then 32 in speed. So, moveset, we have Rest and Sleep Talk. That's your recovery set. So you rest and then you use Sleep Talk. Other moves, we have Flamethrower, which is your main attacking move. And then the final slot, we have Roar, Will-O-Wisp, or Solar Beam. Either of these three is decent, especially if you're using obviously Rest and Sleep Talk, because if Sleep Talk activates Raw, you just, you're getting the opponent out of battle, you're pretty much wasting their turn. If you get Will-O-Wisp, you're obviously going to burn the opponent, and unless they're already burnt, then you're going to it's going to be helpful for you. The final one is Solar Beam, so obviously, if you get that, you're going to be able to do some damage, and because Drought is up, you can obviously use that in one turn, assuming Drought is still up. Held item what? Ability Drought, I mentioned that already, so I'm not going to go too much into that again. Nature is Calm, because we're going to build a special defensive set here, as you can tell by the EVs as well, and we're not using physical attack, so why the hell would we want to lower anything else? Heat Rock is here because we're playing an offensive set, guys. We're sort of going to be wanting, it's not like jumping in, killing and then leaving, not killing, but you guys, jumping in, taking the opponent out and then jumping back out again. We're actually in here for a reasonable while. We're not going for all out offense, so it might take us a few more turns to destroy the opponent. So hence the Heat Rock is there just for usefulness of managing to allow you to get your boost with the Flamethrower and the Solar Beam and whatever else for a few turns longer. EVs, as I said, here we have not quite maximum in health points and special defense to put 32 in speed, because we want a reasonable little speed boost there just to outspeed some certain Pokemon in the tier, and then the rest goes in health points and special defense just to bulk you up as much as you can in there. As we saw, special defense as well as speed is its highest stats. That's sort of where we're building off of here. Defense wise, it's not really brilliant physically defensive, but you have the Will-O-Wisp, so you can certainly use that if you get a physical attack come out against you, and that's obviously going to cripple them and allow you to survive some more hits from them, so that's very good in that sense. But really, that's how to use this set, yeah. Go with your Flamethrower or your Solar Beam or whatever you're running, and then obviously once you're on low health, Rest and Sleep Talk. If a physical attack comes in and you're running Will-O-Wisp, you can go for that. If you don't have Will-O-Wisp and a physical attack comes in, depending on your health points at the time, it might be best to switch out, it might be best to stay in, it's up to you guys. You have to analyze the situation as it comes, but that's it for that set. So let's look at the second set for Ninetales, which is pretty much an all-out attacking set. So we have Fire Blast, Solar Beam, Nasty Plot, and Hidden Power or Sunny Day as the attacking move. Then we have Drought as the ability, Modest Nature, and held items are Life Orb or a Heat Rock. And then we have EVs. EVs are maximum special attack, maximum speed, and the rest in defense. So let's look at the moveset first. We got Fire Blast this time rather than Flamethrower, but you could very well run Flamethrower there. I've just chosen Fire Blast because this Ninetales set is a case of switching in 5 turns, get as much damage as you can off. You might end up, losing your Ninetales here, because this is sort of, I guess, you could say it's a suicide set, but it's not straight up suicide. Fire Blast because lower PP, you can get much damage off, more damage in one turn than you would with Flamethrower. Solar Beam for more coverage, and obviously with Drought you get a 1-turn usage. Nasty Plot, so it's a case of switching in, getting a Nasty Plot or 2 up, and then going and just doing damage to the opponents. And then Hidden Power or Sunny Day. Hidden Power gives you more coverage, but Sunny Day does allow you to then put the sun up if you manage to deplete the sun. It's up to you. Ability Drought, because, whatever. Modest Nature to boost up your special attack and lower your physical attack, because we're not using the physical attack, so that's pretty self-explanatory there. Held Item. Okay, so I would say if you're going to run Hidden Power, run a Life Orb, just because Life Orb is going to allow you to do even more damage, get more damage off the opponent, but eventually it's going to end up killing you. Whereas a Heat Rock is sort of there for longer, if you guys get what I mean. It can help you stay in battle a bit longer. There's no point in running Sunny Day with Life Orb, because by the time the first Sunny Days run out, your life is going to be pretty low, your health points are going to be fairly low anyway in the first place, so is there much point in running Sunny Day? And you could run Heat Rock with the initial set, that will work well, but Life Orb, I would say, if you're going to run Life Orb, there's no point in running Sunny Day. EV's maximum special attack and speed, just so you're fast and as hard hitting as possible, because this is an all-out attacking set, and the rest in defense because your physical defense is slightly lower than your special, so it's sort of just a case of bringing them up to balance them and not really make one stronger than the other, just sort of have a consistent one, so it's not like you're particularly weak to a certain type of attacker. But I guess that's really how to use that set as well. Come in, your Drought's going to activate. Obviously, you're only going to come in if you've got a decent situation. So, come in, Fire Blast off if you need to. If you can predict a switch, go for the Nasty Plot. So if you're just switching on a grass type, you're most likely going to be able to get a Nasty Plot off. And then, Fire Blast or Solar Beam next turn, or Hidden Power, whatever. Might be worth trying to get a good Hidden Power here, because if they switch, say, a Water type in, or not, they wouldn't switch a Water type in because of Solar Beam. The good thing here with Solar Beam, though, is obviously you're weak to 3 types, Water, Ground, and Rock. Solar Beam has coverage against all 3 of those, but obviously some Pokemon might have water, ground or rock moves but have a different typing, so that's why you might want your hidden power to come in. It really depends on what's taking out your Ninetales most, and then sort of getting a hidden power around it to counter that, if you guys understand me there. But that's going to be pretty much it for this episode of the Pokemon DataDex for this week, guys. As I said at the start of the video, please be sure to vote for next episode, either Electivire or Ninetales, and that's episode 49. As I mentioned in the past, episode 50 of the Pokemon DataDex is going to be a big one, so be sure to tune in for that, guys. It's only 2 weeks away actually, so get hyped, get hyped, get hyped, get hyped. But for now, guys, this is gonna be it for me. Drop a comment down below voting for Electivire or Magmortar, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out all the other content from LumioseStation. But for now, this is it from me. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye.